Habang bumubunga yung kalumpit, ina-harvest mo. Pero ito, after 40 years, you gonna cut it. Yan yung pamana mo ngayon, sapo mo. And kung yung puno mo is around 10,000 board feet after 40 years, at 30 pesos per board feet, that's 300,000 per tree.
Yes.
So if you plant, sabi namin if you plant 10 trees, you have 3 million. You haven't seen that. So yung concept ng profit, yung nilalagay namin sa farmer.
Because that has a timeline.
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 Maganda yung idea. How come hindi naintindihan ng corporate social responsibility ng mga kumpanya? They don't care?
I think they
Or
care,
they don't
but
understand the profit side, like Mr. Joe saying, there is a profit angle for the other side.
Well, I will hazard a guess. No, my guess is at this point in time, all these people who are supposed to take the lead, you're an exception because you have seen and you know how to do it.
He's practicing it already.
Those people who don't know how to do it yet, they look at CSR as public relations, as part of advertising. You know, yan ang madalas no? And so when the crunch gets heavier and really telling, then they cut off public relations, they cut off advertising, you know. Ganyan yan They don't cut off accounting or legal services. They don't do that. Pero yung advertising, teka muna, kukunti ang budget.
Insurance muna.
Insurance pa. Tatanggalin yun, no? Ngayon, pagka ginawa mo yun, what will you now have just so you can have biodiversity focused on that line? Wala hindi ba?
Siyempre, when you talk of palabas, no? It's getting out. They don't like that. If it's getting in, they would like it like me. I always think, magkano akin yan? How will I profit? That's the way I look at it. Pero if you look at a longer range, say if you're pharmaceutical companies, no? What are you doing? There are people now, you're using lagundi, ampalaya, everything. Why not build up a forest? Generally, 50% would be lagundi trees and then other banaba trees, which as we are exporting. And then we have moringa, which is malunggay. Why not put it there? And then make it a source na yung mga upland farmers mo, siya ang gawin mong steward.
Caretaker.
Caretaker. We will buy it from you.
Sila pa rin ng labor.
Oo. Kayo magtrabaho, harvestin nyo yan, and then sabihin natin, okay, the labor, initially, we will pay you. Now, when it's harvest time, you sell it to us, bawasin ko ngayon yung sinweldo ko sa'yo. Yung finance ko sa'yo.
You see, this is a real simplified explanation.
It is.
Also known in corporate planning as corporate planning, corp plan. So therefore, there is also a timeline where you say, so sa ganito, pagkatapos sa 6 buwan, ganito ang kikitain mo. Tapos in the meantime, hindi lang yung 6 buwan ang antay mo. Dahil
kakain
so you can also plant vegetables, you can also plant luya, yun.
Gentlemen, we're going to have to take a short break. Right before we do, I'd like to bring up a poster. I think we'll ask I'll ask the camera to tune in. Okay, this is the CN Center for Biodiversity in collaboration with Mac Ranier Sports Incorporated Biodiversity Run 2010. So Biodiversity is Life, Run for Life, Run for Biodiversity, September 4, 2010. That's a Saturday at the Forestry Campus, UP Los Baños. Los Baños po ito, College in Laguna. Assembly is at 5 a.m. in the morning. The race starts at 6 o'clock. The categories for the race, 5 kilometer, 10 and 21 kilometer. Registrations, 250 pesos for the 5 kilometer and 10 kilometer, 350 for the 21 kilometer. Now, the registration period is July 1 to August 31, so I guess we have to do this now. Biodiversity Run 2010 is a run for a course in celebration of the International Year of Biodiversity 2010, where proceeds will go to the CN Biodiversity Fund. Experience the excitement of an advocacy race that promotes the rich biodiversity of the Makiling Forest, physical fitness and mental well-being, ecological awareness, and the enhancement of local tourism. So if you want to know more about it, I guess you can log into the cnbiodiversity.org. Stay with us. We'll be right back. We'll continue to discuss these issues of CSR, even if it's whether it is understood or not, and why it is not, and what we should do to go forward. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Gil Santos, your co-host for today, and our guests here are, on my left is Joe Reaño of Broadchem, and to his left is Mr. Ray Molina of the ASEAN Center for Biodiversity. He's a specialist in resource mobilization. You see. Now, before we went to the break, we were talking about how the government failed in the explanation of how biodiversity really should be appreciated.
Yeah.
You were talking about Masagano 99, and to me, Masagano 99 was a failure.
Yes.
You see,
But the spirit of the land redistribution is still there. It was correct in that sense.
Well, in
Marcos
fact,
seemed to have that in mind,
Yeah.
which was carried over by Cory.
Yes.
Tama naman ang land redistribution. The spirit of the law is correct. The implementation was incorrect and kulang ang
The
legislation.
program was wrong.
Your program was wrong because the farm implements were not there to help. Bigla namatay nga ang lupain because binigay natin bigla sa farmer. Hindi naman alam kung anong gagawin nila. Wala naman silang farm implements. No subsidy, no nothing. Talagang namatay.
kaya ang sinasabi ko nga, Joe, Ray, Harry, yung pag-aari ng lupa, hindi yan talagang
No.
makakatulong
That's
kung
not the
hindi
answer.
productive ang lupa mo, no? So, you're saying, how do you make the soil or the land productive? Mukhang may sinasabi ka kanina, parang corp planning, no?
till
Paano yun?
Kill it. Make it productive. Guys, sinasabi ni Joe.
Pagka ano mo, no? Like sa time namin,
Yeah.
we set up something for the farmers. No? So that in such a way that they would survive the day-to-day living nila. We have a short range, medium range, long range planning. Kailangan ganun, pati mga itatanim mo, everything, it should be there.
Correct.
But you supply also the capital?
Of course, you have.
Oh.
Because, yun nga, yung sinabi ko sa iyo kanina, Masagana 99. Kasi I am, my first work after I had work as a manager for different companies, I went to farming
I see.
sa Nueva Ecija. So what happened, I saw now the problem. Yung gobyerno, magpapautang yung bangko ng pang-inputs, 4,000. Fertilizer, seeds, operation ng lupa, insecticide, ganyan. Ang problema, pag nakatanim na yung farmer, is yung kakainin niya bukas.
Ayun,
Wala na.
siyang pagkukunan.
Wala na. Hindi niya isinama doon sa programa yung, sige,
Short
pautangin muna kita ng kakainin mo for 4 months hanggang di ka nag-harvest, then pay me back.
So,
Wala yun.
Anong ginawa ng farmer?
Ay, di siyempre. Yung input niya, binenta.
Ayun.
Di ba?
At yung pera, ginastos.
Ginastos, pagkain.
That is a no-no in any corporate accounting or cash flow. Because you're going to run out of cash as it did. No?
Yes.
Di ba?
Kaya maraming failure tayo dyan eh. Because we forgot the human factor na people are also eating. Hindi pwedeng mabuhay yan nang nakatingin lang and wait for the harvest. No.
Let me ask you a question because people will be asking
Yeah.
for this. I know I should know that there is no uniform answer for how much will you have to invest in a hectare to make money under your concept, no? Dahil iba-iba ang product eh.
Iba-iba,
ang tanim, no? So, what would be the most viable and the cheapest that you can go into?
Okay. If you go into such program, I'll give you an example.
Ayun.
Ibigay ko sa ito, hindi to original, no? Pero this was done in Malaysia. What they did, yung mga tao sa bundok, tanim kayo ng rubber tree. Tanim. Pag tanim nyo yan, habang lumalaki yan, pautangin ko kayo. monthly, hanggang mag-harvest na kayo. Nung nag-start na silang